What is up, my darlings and dudes? It is Taylor, and I'm here with another YouTube video for you. And this one is one that hits really close to home because it is something that I use every single day, and that is my money tracker. So I'm going to share with you my screen. I'm going to show you all the things that I use and do on a daily basis. I'm very excited to share this with you because it is something that is so impactful. It seems small, but it's actually a really big deal. So if you enjoy this content, if you enjoy this video, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and honestly, keep your eyes out for my content and other videos that I come out with in the future. I would really appreciate that. Okay, let's get to it. This tracking spreadsheet that I have put together is honestly very, very exciting because it can have the potential to help transform your life if you use it every single day, every single week, every single month. Whatever it is that you want to use it for is what it's there for. So like I said, use it on a daily basis, but more importantly, what it does is it instills consistency in my brain and in my lifestyle, in my mindset. And that's really one of the biggest things when it comes to changing your life is you have to make it part of your life. You have to become that person in order for those habits to align with exactly what it is that you want to become and who you want to become. So this spreadsheet has helped me do just that with my finances. Helps me get a bird's eye view, but also gives me a full detail of where things are at on a daily basis. So instead of just checking your bank account or looking at your different numbers, this is a great way to be able to know what's trending, what's going on in your world, in your bank account. So appreciate you guys following along, and now without further ado, let's dive right into my spreadsheet. Okay, so here I am with my money tracker. So the reason that I have this is to keep a very close look on my finances, and honestly, I'm inside of it every single day. I'm typing in numbers, I'm doing some figuring, and that is one of the things that has helped me to become really, really involved in money, is to have a really high attention to detail. So this is the main page. This is the first page that I see when I open up the spreadsheet. It gives me an overview of where I'm at for the year for income, and it also gives me those very, very important reminders of why I'm doing what I'm doing. So you see this right here, my big why down here. You've got 5 different goals that I set in, that I type out exactly what it is that I want to achieve this year, and honestly, it's going to help me get exactly where I need to get to. So obviously you can see January all the way through December, and you've got a yearly target, daily income target, and monthly income target. So very important to keep this in front of you. Of course, me being in sales, I also track money for the total premium, the total sales that I've sold, and it's just important to know where you're at so that you can get a game plan to figure out where you want to go. So the first tab on here is your net worth. Net worth is important because if you're looking at increasing your business and finance mindset and thought process, you need to know where you're at, and that is also true for your net worth. So for example, your net worth is just simply defined as your assets minus your liabilities. So your assets is something that is growing, that is appreciating in value, and that is paying you every single month. The liabilities, however, on the other hand, are something that you have to pay for every single month. So some examples here I wrote out. So personal house, of course, your value on this, $250,000, you owe $200,000, and the difference on that would be $50,000 worth of equity. So $50,000 is the total asset. You have a checking account. Let's say there's 10 grand in that checking account. The total assets here is 60,000. Now, a vehicle, let's say you've got one vehicle that you owe $5,000 on. Of course, that liability is 5,000. So you take 60 minus 5 and you get a total net worth of 55,000. Now, if you get to the point where you have a $50,000 vehicle and maybe you have $20,000 worth of credit card debt, oh, that's 200. $20,000 worth of debt, you can now see that you have a negative net worth, which is a lot of times where you're going to start out your personal finance journey on, and that's okay. But what's important is that you now know, and you can now know better and make better decisions moving forward. So I've also got a debt tracker on here as well that I keep track of the total balance due, the APR, the minimum monthly payment, the credit limit, credit utilization, and then the ranking that I want to pay off that debt in. I'm going to go through each of these columns a little bit one by one. The credit card, let's say I've got a $5,000 balance on that. The APR is 0% and my minimum payment is $50. What I'm going to see now is the credit limit. Now, what's important about this credit utilization is that this column takes into account the total balance divided by the total credit. What that's telling you is this is what's being reported to the credit bureaus. And they are looking at how well you can keep and manage and leverage your debt. So you want your credit utilization to be as low as possible. And now, as you can see on this credit card, it's not it's not maxed out, but it's almost maxed out, right? It's at 71%. So this would be my top ranked target, is to get towards this and to cut it out and to pay it off as quickly as possible. The next debt that you can see here that I have listed is a vehicle number 2. Let's say we've got $10,000 left on a pay. The credit limit on that is $20,000. Now, this credit utilization doesn't necessarily report like that to the credit bureaus, but it is important to keep in mind, and that's my second priority of paying that off. So as soon as I get that paid off, I put a strike through it and I put a 0 because it is done. If you use the snowball method to pay off debt or whatever method you use, this is an important way to track that. I just really like to see the total amounts of things, so I of course use the sum function and use the best of my ability to use these programs for exactly what they are to be used for. So of course you can see here that we've got some work to do. We got some stuff to pay off. I also use this space down here to make other random notes and other random calculations on other debts and other things that could potentially come across the table, or if we're thinking about refinancing something. This is my worksheet on how to do all of that. All right, next we're moving on to the next spreadsheet that I have here. This is my bill tracker. So every single bill that I have to pay on a monthly basis, I am putting it in to this spreadsheet. So I've got a mortgage bill here due on the 1st. I'm gonna do a $1,500 per month payout on that. And if you have heard any of my other videos or heard me speak about any of this stuff, you need to get this stuff on auto pay, my friend. So auto pay column is very important. Is it on auto pay? Yes. Is this on auto pay? Yes. Is this on auto pay? Yes. Is this on auto pay? No. Need to write a check from this specific account. Why? Okay, get it into auto pay. And I also, of course, have this column E, which is which account. So where is this money coming from? As you start to expand and get more finances flowing, you're going to have separate accounts, you're going to have different business accounts, you're going to have different things going on all at the same time. And one way that I found to avoid getting overdraft fees just by accident or forgetting to transfer money some way, somewhere, somehow, I make sure I know where the money's coming from and what amount needs to be in there before that bill is pulled out. So we've got a credit card payment that's due, we've got a vehicle loan that's due, we've got the second vehicle loan that's due. You know, whatever it is that we need to have happening, we need to have these in those accounts prior to this dollar amount coming out, of course. So we've got total monthly bills down here, which is important to keep that in mind as well, is what else can we do to help not only eliminate some of these, but pay them off sooner, have better strategies in mind for keeping track of lowering and reducing those bills. So the due date, this is the date that it's due. Of course, you have to pay this by the 7th, of every single month, and it's coming out of this Discover account, 2334, whatever. Important to keep track of all these things to make sure you do not miss a payment and make sure your water doesn't get shut off or something crazy like that. So another thing that I have for my money tracker is my book. So I love to read, and so every single year I set a goal for myself. So this year, this goal is 52 books per year. So now you see the goal here. We've got let's say I read 5 in January, I read 3 in February, and in March I read 4. So now I'm on track. I'm 23% finished with my goal, and I've read 12 books total. So just a way to track for myself, and the same goes for my workout tracker. So if I'm working out 200 days per year and I am getting close, maybe not getting so close, whatever, you just need to know. Otherwise, how would you know if you're going to hit your goal or not if you don't have that lined up? Another spreadsheet that I have on here is the beliefs, my personal beliefs. So this is something that I take a look at every single day to make sure that I am 100% in alignment with what it is that I want to have, do, and become in this life. I am capable of leading. My physical appearance is this. My level of intensity is this, and I care deeply about this. All of these different things are very important to keep in the front of your mind on a daily basis, but also when you're looking at money. And I will have a whole other section, a whole other video on this, I'm sure, but your gratefulness and appreciation for what you have is going to set you apart in the money game. And you might say that it's crazy or woo-woo or whatever, but it's honestly a choice that you have to make every single day, that you can have a crappy attitude about things, or you can have a appreciation of everything attitude as well. So anyways, that's just one of the things that has changed my life, is to stop and think about what it is that I actually want, what are my core values, and how am I living my life on a daily basis. Kind of cool. Gives me chills, because it's just one of those fun things that I do to make sure that I am doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So like, I have a generous and appreciative mindset. I just love that one. Like, I do what I say I'm going to do. I keep my promises that I make to myself and continue to be uncomfortable to make sure that I get those goals. And these are going to get you through all of the other stuff. Just like me sharing with you about my whys. I have those listed out on each of these, different spreadsheets. Is like, how do I make sure that I hit what I want to hit? Well, I need to have a very big story, a very big drive behind that internally for me in order to continue to reach and hit those goals. So kind of a fun way to look at it. And of course, I believe that if you're going to be great at finances, you need to be great at other areas of your life as well. And that's what self-development is, my friend, right? Okay, next we're on to the monthly tracking sheets. Every single month I have a tab for all of the money that I have coming in and the total value that I have coming in, and of course, always my goals. Every single month I put in exactly how much money is coming in. So again, this is why I do this on a daily basis, because I have money flowing to me from lots of different angles and different accounts. So I need to have a really, really good look at this. If you don't have that yet, that's okay. But what's important is how you treat $100 is how you're going to treat $10,000. So if you have the same level of care and level of detail within each of these things, you will continue to care for those dollars when they become significantly bigger. And when you're doing more things, more crazy things, you're going to be really appreciative of doing so. So every single month I'm putting in here money. Let's say I got paid $1,000. Let's say on the 4th of the month I got paid $4,000. And let's say in the middle of here I've got a value column as well. And this is one of the things that I've learned from a lot of different people that I read in the self-help industry, the self-development industry, is what other things are you achieving and receiving that you're not necessarily putting a dollar amount on? And so I think this is actually from Denise Duffield Thomas, who first brought this idea to me, but let's say somebody bought you lunch. Okay, so if somebody bought me lunch and let's say the value was $15, whatever, that's still money, that's still value, that's still amount that you should be tracking, because it's money that you are receiving. That's money that is coming to you. And so to put a value on that is very important. Let's say you're at a hotel and you get a free upgrade, and that is an extra $150 a night that you did not have to pay for, but you received. All of these things are important to keep track of because it counts. It still counts. Everything counts. So kind of a fun way to look at things. If you get like, I don't know, if you get the coffee rewards or whatever, maybe you get a free cup of coffee. Well, there's $5 for you, whatever it is, it's worth tracking. So you're going to keep track on this. We want a money goal for the month. Let's say we want to make $10,000 and we've made $7,000. So we've got, a couple $1,000s left to go. We've got the goals over here. So this month I want to, I don't know, whatever it is. I want to save an extra, pay off an extra 1K in debt. Okay, whatever that is. So now you have that goal sitting in front of you every single day that you're tracking your money on this. Now I'm going to go back to my very first page. Oopsies. My very first page of the overall year. Oopsies. Okay, my overall year, of course, we see here now the total money in, the total value in, the total amount, and then the daily total as well. So this is what you're going to start to see, is that your dollar amount starts to accumulate and you start to see, oh, it's starting to pile up. And now we go into February, and let's say on February 1st, February 4th, you make $5,000. Maybe you make another $1,000 later in the month, whatever it is. So now you see in February that amount is also updated for you, for me. So it gets to be pretty crazy. It gets to be very fun. And then at the end of the year, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my goal for the month is $35,000 and whatever. So this is how I track my money. I track it every single day. If you want a copy of this, please comment down below. I can send you what I use. And honestly, it's a really fun tool to be able to keep track of things. And I have done this for the last few years. So I actually have a few years worth of these trackers. And it is very exciting to go back and look at what I have done throughout those years, how I've grown as a person with my personal things, in addition to with money. So always fun. I appreciate you jumping on this video today. Let me know what other questions you have down below in the comments, and I will see you on the next video very soon.